Hey Doug, happy Friday.
Boy, it is Friday. It's been a long week, Deb.
It sure has. I just realized I forgot to let Candace know we're live. So hopefully she sees this and can help all of you. You know what? She's not there right now, as a matter of fact. Anyway, welcome to our live today. We're super excited about a lot of things that we have going on and want to let you know that this is going to be about a 15-minute call. We are going to cut it because Doug has another meeting to get on this morning. So Doug, um, this morning I spent some time looking at Citus, and I know last time we talked about it, I was looking at Citus or Injective, and I was a little bit bummed that I had chosen Citus to really focus most of my attention on, which is
Mhm.
most of the money that I had in reserve to work through cost averaging. And I was a little bummed because, I would have got out quicker if I would have went with Injective in that moment. What we always talk about is we never know. We never know.
Right.
And luckily with our tools, it just really doesn't matter which one I chose in that moment. So I'm wondering if today you could spend a few minutes giving me a little education on thoughts around my Citus grid. Can I share it with you?
Sure. Yeah. Let's pull it up and be sure. Let's look at the chart and see where Citus is.
Sure. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Let me share my screen. All right, and I'll go ahead and click on the little icon here, which brings up the chart, and we can see what I've got going on in here. So the first thing is, let me pull this up.
You got a
Uh,
nice sell at the top there.
yeah, right. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this coin has been a gem. Past performance is not indicative of future
Oh, look
results.
at all those blue
Can
dots.
I
Oh
just
my
show you
gosh.
all the gray and blue? Gray
Jeez.
is a buy, blue is a sell, black is where I cost average. Look at back here in the back in the day, doesn't
Who
even have
says
any
money
cost
doesn't print
average,
on
man.
trees, huh?
nSights was just printing money for me.
That's crazy.
I know. And then it took this nice big,
Now hang on one second. I did you call me back then and say, "Hey, Doug, you might want to consider doing this"?
yeah, I'm sure I
Yeah,
did.
right.
Wait a minute. If
Okay.
I'm the only one trading it, isn't it more money for me?
Right.
No, that's definitely not how it works.
That's not
Um,
how it works. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, this has
I
been a
see you got some
fun.
cost averages there,
Yeah.
and
Okay, yeah. So let's go to present day. So came up, had this nice up run. Look at that. Did a pullback, made a couple buys here, sold up here at the top, and then it
Mhm.
did this crazy up run. And if I turn off, hopefully I can turn these off. Yeah, I'll turn my rules off, and we can see that I got a couple of buys right here as it was cruising down. Also, I should let you know, sometimes, a lot of times I go in there and I press buttons and I buy when I feel like buying. And I'm not sure I can look. This was either the system or it was me. Either way, I came in and over time I cost averaged these trades. So you can see I've got them all down
Yeah,
uh, around the same area. If we can get the market to shoot up past that, I'm gonna have
lots of money.
lots of profit is what I'm gonna have. So my question today, as I was looking at this morning, of course, these aren't. I've already got these pretty weighted, so
Yeah, you got multiple trades on them already, I see.
I do. I've got them pretty weighted. So adding more to these, trying to cost average it down even more, I
Well,
don't think I'll get any bang for my buck.
and they're too close to the current market, even though there's a little gap for them. It would need to drop, a whole nother level down before I would ever think about cost averaging those because if you're this close to the market, you're not going to move that much to the market. So it really has to drop before those. And like you say, I haven't seen your numbers, but I can see you have multiple trades and you probably got a pretty good amount in them already.
I do. I do. Yes, I do. And
Okay.
so then as we were continuing on, um one of my
Is that a
trades
manual
sold.
buy or did you buy there?
I no, it was the system that bought there.
Okay.
So it sold a trade, leaving a grid line open. and it went ahead, and then it sold a second trade, leaving
Right.
2 grid lines open. And then
Right.
on this drop, it bought again. nSights did, as per my aggressive rule that I had set
Oh,
up.
you had
So
aggressive set?
I did.
Yeah.
You see it sold here, and a few hours later, that second one sold and the buy came in. I didn't stop when I saw that I got the sell to go in and analyze where I was, because I would have definitely changed this to
No, it's okay. It doesn't,
standard or conservative.
yeah.
Yeah. So now my question today is, I have this trade to work with. It's only about 9.5%, maybe almost 10% negative right now. And then, down here, what I like to do sometimes is take another trade when I can, right? I already have 4 trades open on this grid. I never go above 5. But so I feel in this moment, my options are I can take a new trade, I can add a grid line and have it take a new trade, or I can cost average this one, which is only about, what was it, 9 point, let's go look. Let me click on this. So this is 9 point, I have no I have no trades added to it, obviously. And it is 9.86 net negative. So including my fees and what I put in, I'm 9.86 negative. I usually like to take my cost averages around 15 to 20%, 20
Yeah.
preferably.
Yes. Yeah, it's not quite deep enough. How far is it between here and the low barrier? Current market down.
Let's see.
Measure both swing lows.
All
Go
right.
from there to the first swing low, right there. Yeah. So that would put you at almost 15. And then the next one down is how far?
About
12.
12 and a half.
So that's only about, so you're gonna, if you cost average the one that you're in, you're only going to get one cost average between those 2 swing points, because the swing points themselves aren't far enough apart to justify doing 2 cost averages. So if you cost averaged your current trade, you can't do it here. You're too close to the current trade. So at current market, you couldn't buy to do a cost average. So now let's measure from the current market back to the last high that we were on. Just go up, yeah. So 14. Okay, so hit each one of those points coming down, Deb, to each
Yep.
swing high. 13, and then the next one, 10. Do you have enough money to put in a trade here and to cost average the open trade and the new trade at least once?
I do. So on this grid, I'm trading 50 per trade.
Okay.
And I currently, in my mid wallet, I currently have about 160 BUSD that's
Uh-huh.
available for me to trade.
Okay. Yeah, so if you position yourself here, you're a nice spread away from your last buy. You're 9% away, which is almost the conservative entry, and you do have some net pressure. So you could do a manual buy here and put, if it drops, then you could cost average these 2 and move them down into the current market and probably get both of these out in profit.
Okay.
So, given what you've said so far, you're thinking about doing another buy.
Mhm.
You're really not on a barrier. Probably is going to go a little bit lower. But if you wanted to be aggressive, or you're within the range. So, I mean, it's only like a few percent between current market and the last swing low. 4%, I think you measured it to
Yes.
right there. And, 9% up. So, it's not a bad place, uh, to do a buy. as long as you can cost average this one and the last one, that green dot that we see there, if that one drops, and I would cost average, obviously the highest one first and try to get the deepest cost average out of it. But yeah, I think, and if this one buys and it goes up and you can get out in profit, that's what the game is. So, and you can't make profit unless you're getting in. And again, entry is important, but it's not everything like I used to teach. Every entry was everything back in the day. So now it's just really, is this a good position, Deb, for you?
Mhm.
And that's
And
what you got to decide.
And just to expand on that and what you mean, the reason that entry isn't everything is because we have these robust money management tools,
Correct.
right? When you're just out picking up bags of tokens on PancakeSwap, thinking you want to trade them, entry is everything if
Yes.
you don't have the tools or the skills to manage yourself out of those trades.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and what I'm not saying is entry isn't nothing. We're really considering your place here. We're
Yes.
considering how far back to the high. We're figuring how far down to the last swing point and how far down to the swing point prior to that. We're analyzing the entry. It's not that it's not nothing. It's just no longer everything. Back when you're trading Forex or other things where you have a really tight stop loss, entries, everything. In Forex, I wouldn't take a trade here.
Right.
I would wait to try to target the swing low. And so, but because of the money management we have, it allows me, and because we're not trading leverage, it allows me to be a little bit more flexible in my entry and not miss so many trades. In Forex, lots of times you would miss trades making the market come to you. Here, you don't have to do that. You can at least be reasonable with your entries. Try to understand what you're doing, what your options are, like we just went through, and say, am I okay with that? And that's what Deb has to decide. I can't tell her to take a trade here, but she understands now her risk, how far down it could go. It could go much further down than what we just laid out. But what we're dealing with is the current market and where the market is in terms of pressure. And so she needs to make a decision. Is this a good place for her to add a trade? It is not a good place for her to cost average her prior trade. That needs to come deeper. But if she wants to take on a little bit more risk and potentially make a little bit more profit, then she has to decide if this is an okay place.
Okay. And I just want to let you know that Deb version 1 back in the early Digibot days would have said, yes, I should go ahead and take that trade and I should go all in. I've grown so much, Doug.
Much growth, much
Oh,
growth.
so
So,
much growth.
so from my trading perspective, if I was trading this, I wouldn't be opposed to taking a trade there, because you've done the stuff that says I've got plenty of money to cost average it. I got money to cost average my other one. And so, you're kind of in that. Now, the question is do you add a pullback line or do you do it manually? So you're going to add a pullback line?
Well, you have
Yes. Yeah.
to, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
If you're adding to a trade, so cost averaging, I can do
Thank
an
you.
instant buy.
Right.
But in this case, I
She has to add a line.
have
So
to add a line. So I'm adding a pullback line. So this will be number 5 on this grid, which by the way, I had 5 last week and I deleted a line so I could have that money back to do with it what I wanted to do. And now I've decided what I want to do with it. I'm gonna add the line back in. I wanted to wait and have the market do something before before nSights just took a trade.
yeah.
Sometimes, okay. So what I'll do now, I have my grid line there, and instead of waiting, I'm not sure how soon nSights will go take a trade on this. I want to trade now. So I'm going to go ahead and go back down. Now I'll do the instant buy.
And the reason that she can do that is that she added a line so that
Yes.
she has that ability to do the instant buy.
So now I just need to race nSights and get
The
there.
other way, by adding the line, she then would be relying on the algorithms inside the system to take the trade. And it may or may not take the trade here.
Right.
So
Go ahead and press yes. Yeah, on this grid alone, this one grid, I've been able to pull over $155 out of thin air.
isn't that wonderful?
Isn't that nice? And I've been trading it since what, February? That's pretty, and $50 a trade. So
It is truly alchemy.
it is alchemy. So now it's giving me my,
Based
and
on your rules, that's where it would take the trade.
that's where it would, because I have it set up as conservative.
Mhm.
Okay, there's my buy.
Nice buy.
Right
Little
there,
better entry.
right
So,
where I wanted it.
yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to remind everybody that what we just went through is education, right? That was not trading advice, that was education. Doug educated me on the questions that I had, right? You answered the questions that I had, and I was able on my own to make my decision as to whether or not I wanted to take a buy right there. As I told you before the call, I have three options. I can cost average the one trade I have. It wasn't low enough and I didn't want to do that. I could add a new trade, and I was thinking, I was kind of, going back and forth. And the third option was do nothing. And that
Right.
was a perfectly
Well,
good option as well.
right. You had a fourth option too. You could have tried to cost average one of your other ones that was already
Oh,
weighted,
sure. Yeah.
but you decided that there wasn't enough room to do that either. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so the market, if you read the market correctly, which you did, it really dictated if you were going to take any action, it really dictated only one possibility for you.
Right.
And it was just you systematically walking through the options and then it came down to that one option to do or not do. So you had a choice.
Right. Yeah.
So
And I appreciate you going through that with me. And I thought that was a really good way to help our traders kind of, have an idea of how they can be looking at their grids.
yeah,
Every time we come on, um, you're going through yours, and it's exactly what we do every single time. But I
right.
do just want to really emphasize that we are not financial advisors, and we
Hmm.
don't give trading advice. And this channel is for educational purposes only. So
Right.
come join us in our Discord. You'll find the Discord link on the YouTube.
Mhm.
And come say hi to our community. We are not going live, or sorry, we don't have a call tomorrow morning, Saturday, which is our
Oh,
normal.
thanks for saying that again.
Yeah,
I
we're
was already
taking
getting mentally ready for tomorrow.
right. Yay, I took
So,
something off
but
peacefully.
for next week though, Deb, what I do want to say, even though I can't give trading advice and stuff, I can use people's accounts to help educate them and other people. So if you have a question like Deb on one of your charts and you want to join us on a Saturday and come up to the panel and open up your charts and have me look at it with you and talk about it, we can have a little coffee and tea and talk about it on Saturday.
I love that. Every Saturday we come on with our community, guys. We don't go live generally on YouTube for those. And everybody's welcome. We're family. So please come join us and get your account trading. We're having a blast over here. It's alchemy, right? We're just
It is.
out of thin air creating wealth.
Yeah. 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 Well, Deb knows me. That's one of my favorite books growing up is The Alchemist. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
mine too.
And we do that. And that's a lot of fun. So, Deb, thank you. I have my other call.
Okay.
I appreciate you. And I appreciate everybody being on the call. I'll let you finish us up, Deb.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Doug. We'll see you on Monday on our next live. Thanks, everyone.